season. Stady did not play in the first meeting. That game was still won by Georgia. But everyone agrees this is a different Florida team that takes the court here this afternoon at Stegman Coliseum. The Gators win the opening tip, and Kiki Smith has the ball in her hands, and we are underway in Athens.
Expect man-to-man defense from both of these ball clubs. They both want to neutralize the perimeter scoring of both opponents.
Kiki Smith trying to dribble through Morrison and Stady. It got into the hands of Faith Dute. Rebound to Sarah Ashley Barker for Georgia. Georgia's lineup features Michaela Coombs. We'll talk about what happened to her Thursday. She was carried off the court in that Tennessee game. It looked to be a significant injury, but she has worked through the last couple of days to be on the floor in the starting five here today. Open look for three for Barker is missed, and a rebound for Michaela Coombs on the offensive glass.
And that's key for Georgia, because I really believe they've got to dominate the glass to get the win here this afternoon.
Here is Zippy Broughton, and it's knocked away defensively by Jordan Isaacs, getting back. Zippy Broughton in the starting five for Florida. She did not play in the first meeting against UGA, but Broughton has been outstanding since the departure of Lavender Briggs. This is her 8th straight start. In the last 7 games, she's averaging almost 14 points a game.
And this is a young lady that Kelly Rae Finley recruited before she decided to go elsewhere. So she knows Kelly Rae, she knows this system, and she has made the most of her increased minutes the last 6 games.
Broughton found Kiki Smith, but Smith could not score. Looking for the first points. Here's Stady. Jordan Merritt extending into defense. Stady is a threat to shoot it from the outside. 6 to shoot. Morrison tried to feed Stady, and turnovers will be something that you have to keep a close eye on for these two teams here today.
Absolutely. In their earlier season matchup, 17 turnovers for UGA, 26 for Florida. Both teams need the opportunity to get to the rim today off the bounce. You can't do that if you're turning it over.
Those 26 turnovers led to 29 Georgia points in that win. Dute on the inside, and a trip to the free throw line coming for Faith Dute. Recards an early trip to the bench for Florida. There you see Birdie Rimdahl, number 5, off the bench quickly here for the Gators. Good shooter, hasn't scored in the last 2 games, but she's out in the opening 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, Alberta Rimdahl has been huge in their wins this year in the SEC, averaging 10 points in wins. Unfortunately, only 3 in their losses. Somebody to watch. If she gets hot, could be a long evening for Georgia.
Two excellent free throw shooting teams. Georgia, Florida, and Mizzou all at 72% to lead the SEC. One of 2 for Dute. Here's Combs. Barker looks to drive. Can't get it. And a rebound for Broughton. Florida wants to push. Yeah, no question, Christy. Transition defense going to be critical, and Broughton with her first field goal.
And so I'll take that a step further. I think shot selection for both these teams is important, because bad shots or missed threes allow each of these teams to get out and run.
Georgia averaging 16 turnovers a game. They had 21 on Thursday, but they still found a way to beat Vanderbilt Thursday, 71-56. They were down 6 early in that game. 7 first quarter turnovers against the Commodores, but they went on a 10-0 run in the 4th to pull away.
One thing Joni Taylor says about Q Morrison is she just says to her, every time you turn it over, get it back. That's the faith she has and her super senior there and her defensive ability.
Morrison to Stady. Lid on the basket for Georgia so far in this game. They're 0 for 4.
And Eric, we've seen both these teams' perimeter players be able to beat their defender off the bounce, which has led to open looks, just not converting yet.
Yeah, Smith can't hit from outside, Christie. And now off the miss, the push by UGA, and another miss for Georgia. Kiki Smith will slow things down. Opening minutes, second meeting this year between Georgia and Florida. On the roll to the basket, Jordan Merritt, who scored 13 in the win against Tennessee on Thursday, gets her first 2.
Yeah, great job of the roll there by Merritt. Sarah Ashley Barker was supposed to tag her, just didn't completely commit to it, left her open at the rim.
Stady turns, that one comes up short. Each miss gives Florida a chance to run, and here's Broughton on the push. Into Merritt. Tried to score over Stady. That's tough to do, and here comes Morrison.
And these guards are so evenly matched for both in this game. It's really going to come down to who executes better from the post position, in my opinion, today. Who can get those easy buckets and score?
Well, so far, the first 8 Georgia possessions, 0 for 6 from the field, a couple of turnovers. Rough going so far for the Lady Dogs playing on their home floor. Manu de Oliveira comes in for Florida. Leah Weish is in as well. Ricard's back into the game. Morrison, no. Batted back to Rimdahl. De Oliveira kept it alive for Weish, who turned it over. Morrison averaging better than 14 points a game. And a whistle stops play, and a foul is called on Florida that gets us to a timeout. Well, this has been quite the run for Kelly Rae Finley's team. We'll take you through the last few games and how good it's been for the Gators next. Well, what a run here for Florida. It's been a brutal schedule. It started in Lexington. They knocked off Kentucky by 25. Kentucky, the 23rd ranked team. They came home and knocked off number 11 LSU by 1. A big bump in the road against South Carolina. We're outscored 19-3 in the first quarter. Battled the rest of the way and found some momentum after that game when they rolled over 7th. Joy for each other, and that's been the Findlay effect here on this team. They have played so well in going 16-6 here in the overall portion of their schedule. That's lost out of bounds by Coombs, and once again an empty trip down the court for Georgia, and it's Florida basketball.
Eric, I think people back in Florida should patent that saying and just do t-shirts, Findlay effect.
Well, I am not going to get any points for originality, but I will definitely take a little off the top if there's any successful sales of t-shirts down in Gainesville. Here's Ricards on the drive, good strong take. And a rebound for Javon Nicholson. So Georgia going to their bench, they bring Nicholson into the game. Morrison, another miss. 0 for 9 start for Georgia. And palming violation is going to be called here on Florida. That's going to be turnover number 2 for the Gators. Well, you think back to that South Carolina game, and you know, Finley said they were nervous against South Carolina, but they addressed it. You know, they weren't trying to run away from the fact that they only made 1 field goal in the first quarter. But they want to know, well, what was the feeling like in that game? Why did we start that way? And wanted to remind them, you kept fighting after the first quarter. Could have just packed up the bus and gone back to Gainesville, but they gone home. But they just kept fighting in that game. Nicholson inside, no. And the drought continues for Georgia. That win, that loss to South Carolina, of course, was in Gainesville in front of a big crowd. Now an offensive foul, and Georgia trying to turn it around. Foul on Smith.
Well, we talked about how critical the transition defense would be. That's tough because Coombs wasn't even on her feet solid when she got that call.
Another Georgia miss. 0 for 11. And on the drive, a foul is called, and it's going to be whistled on Mallory Bates.
We talked so much about the perimeter players for Georgia and their ability to get up and down, but the post run the floor too. There to Leah Weish, great hands, and is rewarded.
So Weish slow to get up, but the freshman from Fort Lauderdale will step to the free throw line. 4 points in 11 minutes in the win against Tennessee on Thursday. Another one coming. Women's basketball doubleheader coming on Thursday night. Speaking of Tennessee, they will host Mizzou at 6:30 Eastern. Then you'll see Georgia and LSU, a rematch of a matchup earlier this season won by the Tigers. See it right here on the SEC Network, also on the ESPN app. Tennessee letting it get away against UConn in Hartford at the moment. 19, make it a 21-point lead for the Huskies. Here it's a 7-point advantage for Florida. Georgia has missed their last 11, which is their first 11 field goal attempts of the game. Bates can't get that to drop. 9 straight one-and-dones for Georgia.
Well, credit Florida's not only defense, but their rebounding right now. Georgia has not had one offensive rebound yet in this game, an area that they dominated in Gainesville in their last meeting with 16.
Thrown into the quarter to Barker, defended by Rimdahl. Drop down for Nicholson, and finally the first points for UGA. Florida tries to answer right back. Weish gets an offensive rebound. Good shooter's got the look, and Rimdahl. Rebound by Barker. Thrown up and in, and now Georgia's red hot.
Well, I was going to say that's an ill-advised shot by Sarah Ashley Barker, but the sophomore powers it up and gets it to go down.
After an 0 for 12 start for Georgia, flip it around and look at Florida. Gators have missed their last 6 field goal attempts.
That's what worried me for the Gators, is as bad or as much as Georgia was struggling on the offensive end, they weren't able to extend the lead. Finally, they get a shot to go down.
It's a deep 2 for Ricards, who played so well against Tennessee at a season high 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. Tipped out to Bates, batted around into the hands of Ricards. Morrison gambled on the steal. Smith's got it. Can't make her pay.
So, Eric, something to watch for Florida, and it's not an official stat, but to this point in the game, on layups or points at the rim, they're 2 of 7. How much is the length of UGA affecting their shots?
Bates on the turnaround, gets her first 2. Minute to go in the first quarter. Smith on the drive, knocked out of bounds by Florida. Georgia ball. Well, you talked about during this turnaround for Florida over the last couple of weeks, their defense has been the #1 reason, in your opinion, and that's something that Georgia takes a lot of pride in. They have been a very good defensive team. Joni Taylor thinks they are better defensively since that first meeting with Florida back in the first week of January.
Well, both of these coaches said the other teams, or that their defense was better. So much mutual respect, and that's crazy to think about because this season, these two teams have been known for their defense, but you're seeing it already here. This is as much about the defense that we're seeing than it is about missed shots by the offenses right now.
Stady back into the game. Flortonders in for Florida. Here's Barker, who has struggled from the outside, and those struggles continue. Now 0 for 2 from outside the three-point line today, was 0 for 6 against Vanderbilt in the last game for Georgia. Kiki and Q, the matchup one more time. Q knocked it away. Kiki got it back. Merritt has it rejected up top. And enough time here for Bates to turn it into points. What a finish to the quarter for Georgia. Blocking the outside shot, going the other way. Well, what about that 7-minute and 20-second drought?
And so, love that we have this initiative every year. And the bottom line is, here is Joni's got a story, Kelly Ray's got a story, I've got a story, everyone has a story. Support one another in this fight.
Broughton gets a steal to start the second quarter. And the support that the Kay Yow Foundation continues to provide, especially this year, the 15th anniversary year, there are 15 $50,000 grants going to underserved programs across the country. They're trying to reach into every pocket. As you mentioned, Christy, everyone is impacted in one way, shape, or form, whether there's someone who's gone through cancer like yourself or someone who's been impacted by a family member with it. So it's just a wonderful cause, and just seeing all that pink out there reminds you that it's that time to celebrate Coach Yow and also what the Kay Yow Cancer Fund can do. Georgia basketball, second quarter defensive battle between the Lady Dogs and the Gators. Georgia missed their first 12 field goal attempts, making it tough to get its Q Morrison, playmaker for Georgia. She'll try a deep three. Stady can't control the rebound. Chloe Chapman in the game for Georgia. Mel Smith has her pass knocked away. Chapman to Stady. Traveling. No basket.
That's a tough feed to your post player in transition with a defender on her. I would have loved for Chloe Chapman just to kind of pull it out and let Jenna Stady post up there. But Eric, one thing we're seeing from Florida right now, they are attacking the hedge of UGA. That's why you're seeing the post on the roll get the ball so many times.
Freshman Drya Warren into the game. Up ahead to Chloe Chapman. Chapman can't hit.
Yeah, no rebounders there for Chloe Chapman. She can get that shot at any point in the shot clock. I'd prefer for her to pull that out. There's so much respect for Jenna Stady right now. Feed your senior the ball in a position to score.
Well, both teams want to play with pace, Christy, but there is a fine line between playing with pace and playing too quickly. Is that the case for Georgia right now?
Yes, because I do believe that Georgia's just sped up. And finally, they get Stady the ball in a position to score, and you're seeing the senior convert.
After missing her first 2 field goal attempts, Stady scores to put Georgia in front. Florida jumped out to a 7-0 lead in this game. Georgia didn't score for the first 7:20. And now the Lady Dogs in front. Broughton, good defense by Chapman. Thrown back to Mallory Bates, who's made an impact, and a timeout is called by Florida. Mallory Bates with 6 points off the bench, couple of rebounds, had that block at the end of the quarter, and Georgia is on top by 3. Timeout called in Athens. 14th ranked Georgia in front in the second. A good game against Vanderbilt, played very well. 12 points, 6 rebounds, was 6 of 8 from the field. She has sparked this turnaround for Georgia as Florida trying to get on track. 8-0 run right now for Georgia. Broughton doesn't use the screen, doesn't need it. Drives the lane for 2.
Well, I love that counter because what had been happening to this point in the game, Florida was coming off of those on-ball screens looking for the post. That time, Broughton just rejects it and gets to the rim.
Reagan Richardson to Barker. Stady. Well off the mark. Kiki Smith fighting Coombs for the loose ball. Tie up, will give it to Florida. Well, Smith so far has been held in check. 0 for 4 from the field. Remember, she's been the leading scorer the last 4 games for the Gators. She's gone for 22 points or more in each of the last 4 games. Knocked away by Barker. Controlled by Ricards. Ricards is fouled by Barker on the drive.
Foul directed against Georgia's number 3, Sarah Ashley Barker. That's her second.
2 on Barker.
So, Eric, an adjustment out of that timeout for Florida is now the guards are going to work. They're the ones using the on-ball screen, looking to turn the corner, looking to get to the rim, and it's working for the offense.
Junior Nina Ricards out of Queens at the line for a couple. Tuesday on the SEC Network and the ESPN app, men's hoop doubleheader starts with LSU and A&M. And our coverage will begin at 7 Eastern time here on the SEC Network and also on the ESPN app. Ricards, very good free throw shooter at 82%. Go ahead, Christy.
Sorry, I was going to say that's so subtle, but Florida not picking up full court. It's rare in SEC play because they've been so disruptive, but that's the mutual respect. And that's why I said these guards are so evenly matched that I got to believe Florida does not want to give Georgia the opportunity to get out and run if they were to beat the press.
Oh, beautiful adjustment by Kiki Smith with Q Morrison back defensively to get her first points. Great response by Florida out of that timeout called by Kelly Rae Finley.
I mean, I'd pay just to see Q Morrison and Kiki Smith go one-on-one the rest of this game.
Stady defended by Dukes. And Smith gets called for the foul, trying to deny Morrison. That's going to be her second personal.
That's her second, Florida's first.
Well, you know, if Florida's going to go on a run, it's on Kiki Smith there, the steal and the step by with a great touch at the rim.
So Smith goes to the bench with the 2 personals with Florida on top by 3. Broughton is the one who's going to try to defend Morrison now and does a good job of it, but Q sticks with it for 2. First points for Morrison after missing her first 3 shots. Broughton lost the handle and gets called for the foul.
Foul directed against Florida's forward,
Her first.
And Eric, that's the second time that Q Morrison has gotten beat off the bounce, but has stayed with it and poked the ball from behind to disrupt this Florida offense.
So the job of defending Q Morrison now belongs to Broughton with Kiki on the bench with 2. Richardson knocks it down. Freshman from Charlotte can get hot in a hurry. Ricards back quickly for 2.
Did you say can get hot in a hurry? There's hurry and then there's just speed, and that's what we just saw from Florida. Wasting no time after the made bucket to get it up the floor. Very few dribbles, easy conversion.
Yeah, get your stopwatch out for some of these transition hoops for Florida. Doing it without Kiki on the floor too. Broughton, there's Morrison showing that outstanding defensive ability that she's shown throughout her Georgia career.
It's Georgia basketball.
Defensive Player of the Year, co-Defensive Player of the Year last season in the SEC. Georgia ball.
You know, one thing with Georgia, Joni Taylor says she's got sets of plays that she has for each individual player. We saw that last time for Reagan Richardson. Q Morrison doesn't need a set. She can just create on her own.
Morrison's got 4, came into the game averaging 14.5 a game. She's gone for 20 or more 4 times this season. Duke. Shot clock at 5 with Broughton pulling the trigger from deep for 3. That's the first 3-pointer made in this game for either team.
Well, Broughton's bringing it today.
It's been brought by Broughton is what you wanted to say. Just say it, Christy.
Bring Brott Brung by Broughton.
That's her first, Florida's third.
Bring it? Oh no, it's been brought.
Go to the line for the Lady Dogs.
7 points for Zippy. As Christy mentioned, transferred in from Rutgers, was originally recruited to Florida by Kelly Ray Finley and the Florida staff, so there was a connection there when Broughton was looking for a new team, and she has found a great fit in Gainesville. Richardson at the free throw line for Georgia. Monday night, SEC Inside, your all-access pass behind the scenes with the Ole Miss women's basketball team, the Florida men's basketball team. Go behind the scenes on Monday right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. Even at 20, De Oliveira drives on Nicholson for two.
And I really believe that's knowing the scouting report by De Oliveira. Knowing Javin Nicholson's not as good off the bounce defensively, just attacks her and gets to the rim.
This is where Nicholson's really good on the offensive end. Duke couldn't control it, and they say it was last touch by Georgia, and it will be Gators basketball. 2:20 to go in the second quarter.
Manu De Oliveira's back this season and making her presence felt. Beautiful baseline drive with a kiss off the glass for the reverse layup.
Senior from Brazil, averaging 5 points a game, had 6 points, 5 boards in the win against Tennessee. Ricards kept it alive. Rimdahl can't get the roll, and a rebound for Morrison. Right now, Florida playing without Kiki Smith, who's on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Morrison, 2 more.
It's really remarkable, the improvement of Q Morrison offensively, and has never been about effort for this young lady. She is healthy, and she is so confident this season as she continues to lead the Lady Bulldogs on offense.
Nicholson with the rejection. She'll head to the bench. Jordan Isaacs will come back in.
You're seeing it now from the Florida guards. They are turning the corner off the on-ball screen. That time, Javin Nicholson stays solid with the block.
Georgia gets their share of block shots. 6 a game, good for 3rd in the SEC. Knocked out of the hands of Morrison by her teammate. Rimdahl will head to the free throw line. The foul on Stady, her first.
That's her first, Georgia's second.
Second chance opportunity for Florida. Rimdahl doesn't spot up. She takes it at Stady and draws the foul.
Freshman from Denmark, who's picked up 1 Freshman of the Week award in the SEC this season. Gets her first point of the afternoon. As I mentioned, did not score in the last 2 games for Florida. She's on the score sheet today, and Florida's up by 2. This has to feel pretty good for the Gators if they can keep this score right around here in the final 90 seconds with their top player, Kiki Smith, on the bench with 2 fouls. Richardson, no. Go ahead, Christy.
Well, Eric, I was going to say absolutely, because shots may not be falling, but they're defending and they're keeping UGA's point total down, but they're doing a great job on the glass as well to this point in the game. A plus 10 over UGA is Florida.
Merritt. Back to Ricards. Ricards on the drive at Stady, and Stady picks up her 2nd personal foul.
Fouls record against Georgia, 14, Jenna Stady. That's her second, Georgia's third.
She'll head to the bench.
And for the Lady Dogs, Zoisha Smith. And number 53, Jillian Hollingshead.
So substitutions for Georgia. Zoisha Smith, who has not played in the last 2 games because of health and safety protocols. She's on the floor. And Jillian Hollingshead, the freshman post, who's missed the last 5 games with a non-COVID illness, makes her return to the court here for Georgia in the final minute of the first half.
Well, Hollingshed's another long post player for UGA, but has great range, can really stretch a defense, but just really dynamic off the bounce as well.
Morrison deflected away. Good defense by Merritt. Florida can slow things down. Florida's done a good job of getting to the free throw line, Christy. That's been a big part of their success here in the first half. They're 9 of 10 from the line. Georgia just 2 for 2. Goes back to what you talked about coming out of that timeout call by Kelly Ray Finley when Georgia was on an 8-0 run. They started attacking the basket. They continue to attack the basket. No trip to the line here, though. Georgia with a final chance here, down 4 in the quarter. Morrison thrown up at the buzzer and off the mark from Isaacs. Florida with a strong finish in the quarter after a slow start, and they take a 4-point lead to the locker room at halftime in Athens. And here to take you during halftime, Ricards with 8 points. Florida got to the free throw line, and more importantly, at the end of the half with Kiki Smith on the bench with 2 fouls, Christy, Florida hung tough.
And I think that's as much that belief that we were speaking about earlier that this team has as anything. Your leader, your super senior, goes to the bench, and Florida didn't miss a beat. Extended that lead by 1 to go into half.
Smith held to 2 points in the first half. Q Morrison had 6. Barker on the fadeaway, now 1 for 6 from the floor. Broughton had 7 in the first half. Back out to Ricards.
And it's subtle, but Florida's done such a good job on the glass. To this point in the game, Georgia only 3 offensive rebounds.
Overall on the glass jumps out to me, with Florida being a +9 in rebounding margin. I guess we shouldn't be shocked because in their win against Tennessee, they were +2 on the glass against the Lady Vols, which was a team that was +16 coming into the game. So Florida holding their own in that game, and certainly here on the road in Athens.
I think this is just a Florida team who knows their identity. They know they're undersized at certain positions, but they know they have the speed element to their advantage, so they utilize it. And we're seeing that on display here tonight as well.
Morrison couldn't finish, and here comes Kiki Smith. Smith, little double hesitation. Tough pass to handle for Ricards. Turnover, Florida. Barker takes it at Dukes. Merritt with the save, but saved it to Morrison. Cleaned up by Stady.
That's the Cardinal sin. You never save the basketball under your opponent's goal. There, Georgia's able to convert into 2 points by Stady.
Stady now with 4. It's been a quiet game for her. Had 2 fouls in the first half.
And that's the thing. If you're Georgia, Stady and Q Morrison both had quiet first halves, yet you're still in the game. Now it's time for the seniors to step up.
Coombs with the steal, the kick by Merritt. It will stay with Georgia. Weish will come back into the game for Florida.
I was going to say, my hat goes off to Michaela Coombs. For a young lady who had to be helped off the court on Thursday night, she's really showing no evidence of that sprained ankle. She must be a really quick healer.
I thought for sure Joni Taylor was going to say, yeah, we hope to get her back by the end of the season, because she couldn't put any weight on that left leg. You feared there was a knee problem, and when she said, oh, she looks really good, she's been very aggressive in her rehab and treatment since that injury on Thursday night, and here she is in the starting lineup, and she looks great, and she's driving and getting a trip to the free throw line as she tumbles out of bounds.
Well, you see no ill effects of it, and this is against one of the quicker backcourts in the SEC in Florida, and she's done a great job defensively as well. Here, turns the corner with the bump, gets it up, smart move to get to the free throw line.
Coombs at the free throw line. Let's take you back to the Vanderbilt game the other night when she went down. We'll do it in a moment, and couldn't put any weight on the leg. You can see that left ankle is taped up. It's a left ankle injury. Tied at 26. Broughton trying to get around Stady and Morrison. That's tough to do, and Morrison's got the steal. To Barker. Georgia has scored the first 6 points of the third quarter to go back in front. Morrison knocks it out of bounds.
Where the key for Georgia right now is there have been 3 straight live ball turnovers by Florida, and that's when Georgia's at their best. They don't want the half-court offense. They want the transition offense. Q Morrison waits an extra second to deliver that pass to Sarah Ashley Barker on the left for an easy 2.
Rickards knocks it down for 2. Batted into the hands of Rickards, and here come the Gators. And Rickards called for the double dribble, so it'll be Georgia basketball. Florida will bring pressure into the backcourt here. They've turned it over 13 times in the first meeting between these two teams. Turnovers plagued the Gators. Turnover by Georgia, picked up by Merritt.
And so you're seeing the half-court offenses of both these teams struggle. When they can get out and run in transition is when each of these offenses have had the most success here this afternoon.
Rickards. Morrison to Coombs.
And on cue, no pun intended there, but Georgia out of transition, another easy 2 points. All right, pun intended.
That's just using Q's name to your advantage. Oh, there's Coombs there with the steal to Barker. No. And Barker gets called for the foul.
Have I mentioned just how good Q Morrison's been at point? Yes, Coombs finishes it, but it's Q Morrison who lays that pass on the money, so it's just an easy catch and score.
Foul on Barker, her third personal foul. Been a quiet day offensively for Kiki Smith. 2 points, 1 of 7 shooting. Rimdahl into the game. Little hesitation. Stady and Coombs team up defensively, but a foul is called on Stady, so that will be her third.
Where you said a quiet day for Kiki Smith, you could say the same thing about Q Morrison because they're matched up on one another. But what I like is you're seeing Q Morrison get really involved defensively, setting her teams up in transition. I expect Kiki Smith to start doing the same as well.
Rimdahl at the free throw line. She's got 3. A reminder, coming up Tuesday, SEC Network men's basketball doubleheader starting with LSU and Texas A&M, 7 Eastern time. You can see it here on the SEC Network and also catch it on the ESPN app.
Little token man-to-man full court pressure by Florida.
De Oliveira shuts off Morrison. Bates on the floor for Stady, who goes to the bench with the 3 personal fouls. Barker threw it out top. Here's Coombs. Coombs is not a 3-point shooter, but that's in her range right there, and she knocks it down.
You don't need the 3 when you got the pull-up, and that was a point of emphasis for Michaela Coombs all offseason, and she's just been so efficient for UGA this season offensively.
Duke threw it behind Kiki Smith, who started to cut, and it's a turnover for Florida. That's their 15th turnover. And there's a timeout in Athens.
Well, quick healer or not, Michaela Coombs making her presence felt on offense. Beautiful pull-up jumper for UGA, up 2.
Questioning Charlie ever. There was nothing that I just said that could even remotely be considered questioning Mr. Crean.
I just wanted to make sure, and I know probably some Georgia fans were wondering why he had Georgia drop out of the top 16 as of Thursday, and he said it wasn't anything Georgia did, it was more about what Oklahoma and Notre Dame did. So Georgia's still got a chance to get into the top 16, but they need a win here today for sure.
Well, Michaela Coombs is trying to help them to that win here today. She continues her good shooting, and Georgia is on top by 4.
Just feel like in the last 3 games, the second half has been Michaela Coombs' time. She was huge in their win at Mississippi State. Unfortunately, obviously got hurt the other night, but they're going to need more offense from her this evening.
Coombs averaging 7.5 points a game. She has 8, including the last 6 for Georgia, and all 8 of the points have come in this quarter. Feed inside, and Bates has been so good. The catch, the finish, the foul.
And it's the high-low action of UGA. When they're rolling offensively, this is what they're looking for, using their height advantage. Their post-to-post action. Easy catch and score for Mallory Bates.
Bates finishes the 3-point play. Foul on Dutes, her second, and an offensive foul call. Broughton called for the foul. That's her third. Seven unanswered points for the Lady Bulldogs. Chapman into the game. Isaacs, blocking foul call.
Last possession, Isaac gets it at the high post. She looks high-low. This time, tries to get downhill off the bounce and draws the foul.
Georgia will maintain possession.
Georgia has outscored Florida 15-4 here in this third quarter.
And for UGA now, you basically have 3 point guards on the floor for Joni Taylor.
Here is their lead point guard. It's Q Morrison. Guarded by Smith. Morrison knocked away with the shot clock winding down, and Smith back the other way. And guess who? From behind, it's Q.
It's just such a testament to her resiliency. Third time when it's been a miscue or just getting beat, she stays in the play and forces the turnover.
Morrison sets for 3. 3-point shot is not normally a big part of the Georgia offense. It has not been a part at all here today. They are 0 for from outside the 3-point line. Good feed inside. That's Merritt for 2. Chapman for Morrison. Awkward shot, couldn't get it. Smith's got the rebound. Smith aggressively to the basket and one.
That's her first Georgia third. Checking in for the Lady
You knew it's just a matter of time before Kiki Smith got going in transition. And it wasn't just that she scored, Eric. She went by 2 UGA defenders to get to the rim for this and one opportunity.
If Kiki Smith is going to have her 5th straight 20-point game. It's going to take something special here late in the third and into the fourth, but she has produced late in games during her Florida career. Nicholson gets the roll. Quick hard push, and there's Nicholson and Bates teaming up for the block.
And Eric, that's an example of why and how UGA is able to get up and pressure guards, because you got rim protectors behind you that can get the blocks, as we just saw.
And their top rim protector, Stady, isn't on the floor right now. That shows you the depth that Georgia has on this team. De Oliveira will try it from outside. No. Ricards with the rebound and a second chance here for Florida. Smith couldn't get it on the drive, knocked out of bounds by Florida. Georgia ball, 4-point game late in the third.
And Eric, to this point in the game, 5 blocks for UGA, but I have to say it again, the bigs have affected so many shots at the rim for Florida in this game. Florida only 8 of 22 on layups.
Final minute, third quarter. Morrison will try again. This one drops down. Georgia had missed their first 6 3-point attempts. Q Morrison ends the drought, and Georgia's on top by 7. Broughton on the drive, defended well by Chapman. It'll be Florida basketball.
Georgia switched on that on-ball screen, and Florida couldn't exploit the mismatch of Q Morrison on Manu down low.
Barrett back outside. De Oliveira, 4-3, answers back for the Gators.
I guess that's why they didn't hit Manu down low last possession. Let her spot up for 3.
She was ready on the outside. 10th three-pointer she's made this season. Both teams have struggled from outside the three-point line. But Morrison and De Oliveira coming up with threes here late in the third. Morrison defended by Merritt. And Georgia does not get a shot off at the end of the third quarter. But Georgia outscored Florida 20-12 in that third quarter to take a 4-point lead.
At Emory Hospital, but I always say knowledge is power in our fight against cancer, and that's why I say the research is critical to us finally finding a cure. But I also have to say early detection is our greatest ally in our fight against cancer, because in my opinion, cancer doesn't have to kill us anymore if we can get the right diagnosis and get the right treatment.
When you hear about Play for K, you see the pink jerseys, you hear Christy's stories. That's just a reminder about that early detection. Get checked. You never know, and it's great to be with you even though we're virtually connected here today. Christy got her early morning run in, by the way, in the 20-degree temperatures. That's how healthy she is. While the rest of us were sleeping. So well done, Christy. Staying in shape, staying in good health. Fourth quarter underway in Athens. Defense has been the story in this matchup of two teams that bring it on the defensive end. Nicholson brings it on the offensive end, though. That bench has been important for Georgia. They kept him in the game in the second quarter, and they have continued to make a difference here in the second half.
And Eric, you hit it on the head. It's the depth of the bench for UGA. You saw it in the win against Vandy, how they just exploded in the fourth. Bates there can't convert, but you just see this energy now picking up for UGA.
Kiki Smith ducks through on the drive, count it, and the foul.
UGA just getting kikied right now in transition. If you don't get heads and shoulders in front of this young lady, she's going to get by you and get to the rim.
Garrett Smith will go to the line for the Gators.
Three-point game. Morrison Got a half step on Kiki, couldn't finish, but stuck with it and will earn a trip to the free throw line.
Emanuele de Oliveira. That's her second. Florida's first.
Well, Q Morrison, if nothing else, has shown persistence, whether on defense or offense. The second time today she's missed a shot at the rim, but stayed with it to get another scoring opportunity.
And with Q Morrison at the free throw line, it's pretty automatic. 89% from the line, second in the SEC. 1 of 2. Q's into double figures now with 10. Entry to Merritt and a foul called on Chapman.
Great job by Florida. They saw UGA switching on the on ball, so they wait, get Merritt down low, and feed her the ball.
Second foul on Chapman.
UGA runs the zone out of bounds. Unfortunately, Kiki travels, but this is where I would like to see Florida try to exploit that zone immediately, because you're going to have some mismatches. That time, Kiki a little bit too quick for herself.
Kelly Ray Finley said turnovers were going to be the key here today, and Florida struggling to take care of the basketball. They've turned it over 19 times. Georgia has turned it over now 8 times, but Broughton can't make Georgia pay, and she pays with a personal foul.
Foul directed against Florida's forward, Sippy Broughton. That's her fourth.
Eric, to your point, both coaches said turnovers. When I said, what are keys? First thing out of both these head coaches' mouth, we've got to take care of the ball. That's the mutual respect for both opposing defenses and how quickly they convert your miscues into points.
A reminder, in that first meeting, Florida turned the ball over 26 times, which led to 29 Georgia points. Critical in a very close game. That was won by Georgia 73-69. Broughton picks up the personal foul. That is her 4th.
The crazy stat, we saw Broughton miss the layup a moment ago. But Eric, in SEC play, Florida has been averaging 20 points off of opponents' miscues. Right now in this game, 1 point.
Chapman drops it down to Stady, who gets it back. And a foul is going to be called, although the officials are going to huddle up here. And they will indeed
Jordan Merritt.
call a foul on Merritt.
Florida's third. Georgia.
First personal on Merritt.
Well, I just love that the officials get together to get it right.
Morrison and Smith have been pretty much attached at the hip since the opening tip. Coombs flips it up too strong. Ricard's fighting for the rebound, controlled by Florida, and here come the Gators. Chapman holds her ground against Kiki. Ricard's over Stady. Rebound Nicholson. Inside of 7 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Slow start for Georgia. They missed their first 12 field goal attempts, fell behind 7-0. Battled back to take a lead in the first half. Florida ended up leading by 4 at halftime. Georgia was up by 4 at the end of the 3rd quarter. And right now it's a 4-point game, and a game that's been tight throughout. Coombs on the drive, takes it at Merritt, too strong. Morrison tries to rip it away, but Ricard stays strong.
I feel like if Warren had attacked basket from this left lane, she would have had a layup. Instead, Florida has to pull it out and set up a half-court offense.
Merritt, good 3-point shooter, knocks it down for the triple.
When am I going to learn
First
not to
3 for Merritt today.
to question Florida's offense, because each time I've done that, they've answered with a 3.
Merritt has been very good from beyond the arc. 44% on the season. First make today inside of 6 to go in a 1-point game. And Smith's going to get called for the personal foul. That'll be her third. Here comes Mallory Bates, who's been very good off the bench today, along with Sarah Ashley Barker.
Well, off the screen on the ball, Merritt's defender sinks low. Merritt pops out to the 3, and the bench is loving it.
Good balanced scoring. Ricard says 10, Merritt 9, Smith 8. Broughton 7 for the Gators. Coombs, defended by Warren. The freshman gets a hand in there to knock it away. A jump ball, tie-up, possession arrow will give it to Florida. Jariah Warren averaging 11 minutes a game the last 2 games for Florida. Freshman from Louisiana getting some more minutes here today in this top 25 matchup with Georgia.
But Eric, it may be only 11 minutes, but each of those 11 minutes, she has made her presence felt, just active defensively for Florida.
Smith trying to get around Bates, who was there defensively. And here come the Lady Dogs up by 1. Morrison on the pull-up, yes. .12 for Q. Merritt, not this time. Morrison holding. Bates, tough shot. 13 for Mallory Bates. Georgia back up by 5. Duke. 1 and done for the Gators. Rebound for Stady. And Georgia will slow things down as we go inside of 4 minutes to go in the 4th. Barker. Barker can't get it to drop. And here come the Gators. We've gone a long stretch of time without a whistle here. We're in the 5-minute media window. Merritt, does she have the legs? Yes, to get that to drop.
And Merritt got that jumper because she hit the 3 earlier. Q Morrison forced to fly out at her. She sees it, just head fakes, 1 dribble, pull-up jumper, money.
Morrison can't answer with the 3. Stady can't get the putback. Merritt's got a rebound for the Gators. See if Kelly Ray Finley looks like she wants a timeout, and wisely so, because that clock just kept running and running and running, and Florida keeps fighting and fighting. Down by 3. Check in with the studio after this timeout. Tell us what happened between Kentucky and A&M in OT.
Every possession matters. Now she gets a set play, being able to call, get her team regrouped, and try to get them to execute to get a bucket.
Thrown into the backcourt for Smith, guarded by who else? Morrison. Now on the switch, Stady. Merritt comes out for 3. No, Duke got a hand in there, but the rebound controlled by Morrison. So they were looking for the 3 to tie it at 51 with 3 minutes to go.
Well, and it had been working because of UGA switching on the on-ball screen. That time, Merritt just rises up from the weak side. Had a good look, couldn't knock it down.
Stady, Barker, Coombs. Barker got an offensive rebound and a second chance here for Georgia.
Smart play by Sarah Ashley Barker after the rebound. Doesn't force anything, brings it out, realizing that they just need to burn some more clock.
Smith deflected it. Florida gets the steal. Kiki takes it at Morrison, who gets called for the foul, and it'll be a trip to the free throw line for Kiki Smith. When we return to Athens, Q Morrison a little slow to get up. 2:16 to go in the fourth in a three-point game. Of course, there's been a lot of talk this year about the job Kelly Rae Finley has done in an interim role with the Florida program. Her first stint as a head coach after assistant work at Florida, Arizona, Colorado, and Harvard. That Harvard connection is important, especially as we talk for Play for K, because Kelly talked really fondly about Kathy Delaney Smith, the longtime head coach at Harvard, who's retiring this year after 40 years as the Crimson head coach. Of course, Kathy battled breast cancer, has been very upfront about it, much like you just talked about before, Christy, about being an advocate for early detection and taking care of yourself. And Kelly Rae was moved by that connection for the cancer piece and Play for K, but also just about the job she's done now as a head coach here at Florida has been very, very impressive.
I mean, we're talking about one of the best turnarounds in SEC history in terms of Florida. But to be an interim coach, it makes it even more remarkable. And just my question is, what's Florida waiting for? Because this young lady has shown that she knows how to run a program, takes the job over during a really tumultuous time, steadies the program, and this is the biggest thing that I see. A group of young women who play for their head coach, who believe in their head coach, who believe in one another. They lose their leading scorer, Lavender Briggs, to the transfer portal 6 games ago. And what does this team do? Oh, they just go on a 6-1, or 7 games ago, and they go on a 6-1 streak. That shows me a quality culture and a team that believes in their head coach.
Morrison, shot clock inside at 10, and a rebound for Ricards for the Gators, who are down by 1 with less than 2 minutes to go, trying to pull out another win against a top 25 team. Broughton, little hesitation. Flips it up, gets it to drop, and Florida has the lead and a chance to add to it at the free throw line. Their first lead since the 7:49 mark of the third quarter.
You want to talk about patience. Broughton realizes the mismatch off of the switch, doesn't force it first side, takes it underneath the basket after the hesitation, puts it up and in.
Smith got a hand in there, but Morrison rips it away. 1 point, Florida lead. Morrison defended now by Broughton. Smith on Coombs. Smith deflected it. Morrison, 5 on the shot clock. Morrison on the pull-up. In and out, rebound for Kiki Smith. Final minute in Athens.
The credit Florida's defense. They blew up the set play of Georgia, and then they knew Georgia would go to on-ball screen at the end of the shot clock. Well defended.
Smith. Back to Faith Duke. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Smith looks up. The lob to Merritt, draws a triple team. Barker tried to knock it away, and there's the shot clock expiring. Georgia gets a stop. Georgia ball. Georgia takes a timeout. Joni Taylor tells the officials they'll advance it to the front court. Florida on top by 1 in the final minute in Athens.
Eric, I really believe that we're going to see some high-low action or some two-man action with Q Morrison and Jenna Stady. It's been your bread and butter all senior. Go with the experience here.
Well, Florida has done an outstanding job on Jenna Stady here today. She only has 4 points on 2 of 6 shooting. Over the last 4 games, she has gotten what she's wanted against the Gators. 30 points the last time she took on Florida. She's picked up a double-double in each of the last 4 games, but Florida has done an outstanding job on taking her away. But if you're Georgia, do you look to her here, even though Florida's had the answer for her here today.
I think you do, but once again, I'm not saying that Jenna Stady needs to be the low post there. Mallory Bates is in the game as well, so when I say high-low, it could be Stady as the passer. But what we know is that UGA, especially with the amount of time on the clock, I would be surprised if they don't work this clock way down. And then, as I always say, it's not the first shot that will hurt you. Florida has to be aware of that and box out and limit UGA to one shot.
Reminder, Florida's been good on the glass here today. They are a +10 in rebounding margin. And it looks like Florida's going to take a timeout.
It is a 30-second charge timeout.
Well, this is where both of these staffs have scouted each of their opponents so much. So my gut says on that one, Florida just wanted to see the alignment of UGA to know and talk about how they want to defend this.
Actually, I'll take it back a step, Christy. It looks like the timeout's been charged to Georgia, so maybe flip it around. Georgia wanted to see the Florida defensive alignment. Either way, somebody got to look and call the timeout, and the timeout has been charged to Georgia, so both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. Obviously, that's critical to keep in mind with calling a timeout to advance the basketball in the front court, if that is the case.
Well, and I love that both of these head coaches rely on their assistants down this stretch. End of game situations are handled by an assistant for UGA. You saw in the Florida huddle, Julie Plank, that Kelly Rae Finley is listening to Julie Plank and what she is saying. The most successful head coaches have great assistant coaches on staffs as well.
Karen Lang, the Georgia assistant in that timeout, drawing it up here as Georgia has it down by 1. Shot clock and game clock just about in sync. Fitting that it's Morrison and Smith one more time. Here we go. Coombs on the drive. Barker for 3. Rebound pulled down by Florida. They're trying to get a timeout, and they got it. Faith Duke was calling for the timeout. Another good job on the glass by Florida. Merritt got the rebound. Give Duke the assist for making the timeout, and Florida has it with 1.7 to go.
And how critical is that timeout? Georgia had the possession arrow. If Florida doesn't get that timeout, it would have been UGA's ball underneath the basket. Huge heads up by Florida, and great defense as well. Play out of the timeout for Georgia. Get going baseline, knowing everyone would drop. You drop Barker to the weak side corner. She just can't knock it down. Big rebound by Merritt.
So Georgia is 1 and done. It was a 3-point attempt from Barker. Georgia on the day 1 for 10 from outside the 3-point line. They are at the monitor right now. It's probably to confirm how much time should be remaining in the game. Here's Merritt. And good point by you, Christy. If Bates ties it up, well, you could see Zippy Broughton was there calling the timeout. Faith Duke's just bigger than everybody else, so she was calling the timeout, and Kiki was in there as well, and I'm sure Kelly Rae Finley was yelling at the top of her lungs on the other side of the court.
So, Eric, if you're UGA, your best bet here is to try to get a 5-second count because of such a slim amount of time on the clock, because that would allow you then to advance the ball. If Florida gets it in, it's going to be a really tough battle for UGA.
Florida has 1 timeout left. They give it to Broughton, and the Florida Gators have done it again. Another win against the top 25 team for Florida. They beat Georgia 52-51.
And you see the sheer excitement. We started off, yes, this is a rivalry, UGA and Florida, but you're just seeing the sheer will to win by Florida on display throughout this entire win streak.
We'll have to confirm what the final score is if they give Broughton that basket, but the bottom line is the celebration is on again for the Florida Gators. Wide smiles all season long. They win it in Athens over Georgia. More and more believers hopping on the Florida bandwagon right now as they improve to 7-3 in the SEC. They've won 7 of their last 8. The final score, Florida 51, Florida 54, Georgia 51. For Christy and our crew, I'm Eric. Thanks for being with us. Gators do it again.